right, come on.
Yeah.
I bet you.
Yeah, huh? How big is that one?
So it's 9.85 pounds. So
All right.
148 bucks. Does that work?
Yeah.
Let me get you a box, okay? Here's
All right. Hello everyone, Saltyhead here. Today we're going to show you how to cook baked stuffed lobster. In my hands I have a couple of 3.5 pound lobsters which are fresh caught. Now one of the first things I want to show you is we're going to talk about is how to prepare them in a humane way, because there's many ways to dispatch or kill a lobster. Now back in the day I learned through a TV show through Julia Childs. She was a famous French chef, how she did it. And what she did was she would put the lobsters into the freezer for at least 10, maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and she'd cool them down to the point where they'd kind of like fall asleep, and then she would take them out and then she'd flip them over. And by the way, before we get into this is the crusher claw, this is the feeler claw, and these are the legs, this is the tail, and these are the feelers. This is how because they move around, and they use these as like sensors, like a cat that has whiskers. Now what she would do is she would take and plunge the knife right here, right between the eyes, which are on this side, and she would then kill a lobster by doing that instantly. So there's very little suffering. Now in countries like Switzerland and Italy, they don't allow you to boil lobsters. It's against the law. So how they do it in other countries is they electrocute them. Now, is that any more humane? Well, who knows? I mean, we don't really know how much the lobster suffers, but this is probably the only animal, live animal, that you will buy at a supermarket. You come out and it's still alive, and you have to, dispatch it on your own. So this is one of probably the best ways for the lobster. Now, so what we're gonna do is I want to show you. Actually, I want to show you this here. This happens to be a female lobster, and you can tell right here because that's the female part. The male has an appendage, but the females tend to be a little bit better tasting, I think. Some people prefer the tail. Some people like the claws. The tails tend to be, the meat's a little bit firmer, and the lobster claws tend to be a little bit softer, but it's all good. And so what we're going to do is we're going to stuff this guy. And by the way, this being a female, I can see some eggs in here. They're actually green, but when they come out, they're actually red. And you're not allowed to take the female lobsters, especially when they're laying eggs, because that's the future of the industry. So now here we have the next thing I'd like to do. By the way, these are quahogs. We caught these yesterday, and we'll have some of those tonight. But so what happens here? Let me just show you how the lobster gets trapped. So here we have a lobster trapped. In Maine, they call them a pot. Now what happens is the lobsters, by the way, if you look down here, the lobsters actually move backwards. Okay, they have these little feelers like this, and they'll come up into the pot like so, and they come right through here, and this happens to be called the kitchen. Now this is where we put the bait bag. Okay, so you have some salted fish heads, leftover carcasses, and the lobster comes in here and feeds, and then after it eats, it comes up here into the next chamber like so, and this is called the parlor. All right, so in here he's trapped, and this is where this is when the lobsterman pulls the trap, fishes them out, and you have an escape hatch over here, which the Division of Marine Fisheries actually made the lobsterman put into the trap so that the lobster can escape. If the buoy, this is the buoy, if this should be cut by a propeller on a boat and float away, now the traps are called a ghost trap. So so that they can retrieve the trap, or actually we want to make sure the lobsters get out and not trapped in here forever. So anyways, and that's the basics of lobster. So now we're going to go up and we're going to show you how to prepare them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to prepare the baked stuffed lobsters. And the ingredients for the baked stuffed lobsters are celery, sweet onion, lemon, and crushed rinsed crackers. Right now I've got a pot of water over here boiling. The lobsters are fresh right out of the freezer. So we're going to start with the lobsters. We're going to flip them over. They still have a little life left in them. And we're going to take a knife. Let's get a nice sharp knife here. And it's like Julia Child said, we're going to take the knife, put it right here, and plunge it right into the lobster. Okay? Right down the thorax. And right now he's dead. And then we're going to take the juice from the lobster. And we're going to try to save the juice, because this is going to be part of our stuffing. So we got all this juice. And when you cook the lobsters, the juice will actually come right out into the stuffing too, so you'll have added juice. So as you can see over in the bowl, we've got quite a bit of juice from the lobster. Now, and then we're going to also add some lemon. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and break off the claws. Okay. And a little bit tight. Come right off. Okay. We're going to put those in another bowl. And those will go into the steaming hot water. Take the claws off. I'm moving a little bit, but okay. All right. Now we have the lobster. He's been dismembered and he's been dispatched. Okay. Now inside the lobster, I'm going to show you. Inside the lobster, we have what they call tamale. Now tamale is typically green. In this case here, it tends to be like a beige color. Now this happens to be the pancreas of the lobster. It's the liver and the pancreas combined. So we're going to take the tamale out, and this is considered a delicacy. And we're just going to scoop it out. See here, it looks just like a, I don't know what it looks like, but it's, you know, use your own imagination. We're going to take and put that right into the salt water here. Like I said, this is a delicacy. You don't want to eat too much because it's not really good for us as humans, but a little bit once in a while is okay. And okay, so we'll put that right in there. And then the rest of it, we're going to just clean out in the sink. Oh, there's still some more tamale here. We'll put that in there. And what you want to do too is you want to go right up between the eyes, and you want to pull out anything that you can find that's loose. And clean the cavity right out. So here I got some more things. I don't really know what they are, but we'll just pull them all out. And like I said, try to save the juice. And you know, it's not the most pleasant thing. This guy has a lot of tamale, which is really good. And okay, so looks like we got everything out. And by the way, there's nothing you can't eat in a lobster. Everything is edible. There's nothing that's poisonous. The only thing you can't do is eat the shell, because you could choke on it. But the rest of the lobster's all edible. So now we got one done, and we got 3 to go. So right now we'll take the claws and the legs and we'll put them in boiling water and we'll get those prepared. The nice big claws, beautiful. So as I was saying, the meat in the claws happens to be a little more tender than the tail meat. Some people oftentimes prefer the claws over the tail. It's just personal preference. I like both. So, all right, so we'll put these in. We'll steam these for about 20 minutes, maybe 20-25 minutes, until they're orange, and then they're done. Just cut up the vegetables for the lobster, and we'll start with some celery, and we'll finely chop the celery. And then we'll do the onion. What I use is sweet onion, and seems to work well. Not too much onion, by the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a separate bowl and we're going to take some of the juice, some of the tamale, the juice, because you don't want to put it all in at the same time because you want it to come out, the texture has to be just right. So we'll take some of the celery and the onion. And then we'll take these Ritz crackers. Break them all up. And you can use other kinds of crackers. These tend to work for me. Okay, we got a nice consistency there. We're gonna need a little bit more though. So I'll put a little more Ritz crackers in here. A little more tamale. More juice. Now remember, there's juice inside the lobster cavity, so you want it moist. You definitely don't want it dry. The opposite of moist. Yeah, you gotta. Actually, we're gonna need some more crackers here. All right. All right, and I'll put a little more juice in there, a little more tamale. Okay. Yeah, it feels like the consistency is just about right. Okay. And all right, looks good. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the lobsters, so take this one here, and we're going to stuff them. Okay, get that juice out there. Well, actually, we'll leave the juice in there because there's nothing, the juice is good. Make sure we get there's nothing in there that we don't want to eat. Looks pretty clean. And then we just take the stuffing and put it in there. Okay. A little more. All right. We just want to make sure we have enough for everybody. And put it right in there. Now the other thing is you can stuff them with just about anything. You can practically put the kitchen sink in there. I mean, you can use shrimp, lobster, crab. Keeping it really simple. Like I said, this is just one way. So there. So now, all ready to go onto the fire pit. So we'll add some French fries. These will go in the oven. And here we got the claws going. Looks pretty good. We're just about done. Well, here's the lobsters all baked, stuffed, right off the grill. And now we're gonna add to it some nice bread and butter, Chardonnay, along with some French fries, a nice tossed salad, and it'll make a great dinner here on Labor Day. And so I hope you like this video, and if you'd like, you can check out some of my others. This is Saltyhead here on Parker's River, Cape Cod. And until next time, we'll see you then. To a nice end of summer here on Cape Cod, and to many more.